everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, we got a very cool guest, and she's an actress and a singer, and she stars in Skye Hoshi anime girl, and I'm talking about Regina Famatigan. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. But I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And my interview with Regina will be coming up very soon. And as always, this is my Grue Room, and welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out and coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh my God, yes, of course. So I see you started out like doing stage work. And is there any play that you had the most fun doing?
Oh gosh, wow. A play that I've had the most fun doing. I mean, like the first one that came to mind was my off-Broadway debut. It was a Dungeons and Dragons off-Broadway musical. It was a new musical, and so that was like my first like professional gig last year. It's what brought me to New York. I played like a fighter in it, and it was about these college kids who were about to graduate school, and then they're about to go enter their new life. And so that was like a very fun production for me because that was the first time really working a new musical in a sort of professional thing. And that was just a really transitional moment in my life because, I had just moved and I was just like joining the industry or whatever. And it was like a really fun group of people. Um, and so that was just a really fun time. And the music was really cool. I got to have a sword, which is always awesome. So that was, I would say that that was probably my best time as far as a stage production, like on a stage. I did like a tour in Florida, but I don't like that one. It was like we were going to different schools in Florida teaching kids how to write plays, and that was
Okay.
amazing. And that was like a theater thing. But sometimes it wasn't stages. Sometimes we were like in cafeterias and stuff or like gyms. So I'm
Oh
not gonna count
wow.
that. Yeah.
Wow. For the play you were talking about, the D and D play, like did you have to learn like fighting and how to use the sword and all that
So like
stuff?
I had taken like one or two like stage combat classes, so like I had an idea of some of the things, but yeah, that was my first time like actually like using a sword, and it was very minimal. Like I didn't, it wasn't like insane fight choreography. It was like, kick and a swing, but it wasn't
Okay.
crazy, but it was really fun doing that.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I would have fun doing that, so I'm sure.
Right, sure.
And so like what drew you to want to act and sing? Like when did your passion start for it?
Right. So I didn't actually study acting in school, or at least not formally. I majored in politics with a concentration in theory, but I minored in theater
Oh,
performance and media studies. It was always something that I always loved. I've always been a performer. I've always loved performing, but I actually started more in music than acting. Growing up in my middle school, we didn't really have much of a theater department, and then so I was like more involved in choir. And then when I got to high school, there was a theater department. But I was already like set in that music path, and so I like mostly did music. And then when I did do things with theater, it was only musical theater, which makes sense because I came here with a musical, and then that was where my passions lied for a really long time. But I found that like I never really wanted to necessarily, well, not never. Um, as far as where my passions laid, I didn't want to be just a full-time musician. Like if I had to choose between like being a full-time musician or a full-time actress, I would 100% go full-time actress because
okay.
I had done like things in like bands and like done music only stuff,
Yeah.
but it was never as fun for me as being like in a story and like taking on different characters and stuff like that. This is just being me singing on a stage is not as fun for me as like putting on a costume and like all the stuff that theater and film can give me.
Oh, nice. And you have one of the starring roles, like you're gonna be playing Kira, is it?
Kira.
Yeah, for Sky Hoshi
Skye
anime girl.
Hoshi.
Skye Hoshi. Okay,
Hmm.
so I'm glad you're here to tell me how to say the stuff.
Yeah, right. No, sure. And then I mean Olivia's going to come here, later on, and she could also talk more about the film that I'm very, very excited about.
So like how did you wind up getting the role for this film?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big sort of virtual catcall audition, I guess. Found it on Backstage. Back then, it was still like an untitled project, like Lucy called like Cyberpunk 3001, something like that. And I initially had auditioned for the role of Skye.
Mhm.
And so that's what I had sent in my initial audition, or I don't remember if I did an initial audition and they sent a callback. Yeah, I think I submitted like my headshot and resume, and then they gave me like callback sides for Skye. And then I had done them and then didn't hear anything back for a few weeks. And that's just how it goes sometimes. You just like don't hear anything. You're like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Statistically, I send out a whole bunch of stuff and never hear anything back. And then I got called back immediately for the role, like getting offered the role of Kira. And I remember distinctly, like, I was at work that day. And so I had like missed the initial, I think Stephanie, the producer, had called me. And I remember being like, "Who's Kira?" Because like I didn't submit for that, so I was like, "Who is this? What is
Oh,
this project like? Who's this character?" I don't remember because I never sent anything for Kira.
yeah.
But it was so wonderful. I'm so glad that they had me be a part of this project, despite never really sending in anything for it. But I'd never worked with Stephanie or Kalani, the Hubbards, the
Uh-huh.
producer and director duo of the film, but they're fantastic, and I'm glad that they had me.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And for anyone who don't know about the film and stuff, can you tell us a little bit about what the film is and who your character is?
Right, of course. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name's Regina, and I play the role of Kira in the new independent feature film Skye Hoshi Anime Girl that's coming out on Pure Magic Pictures on April 27th. Skye Hoshi Anime Girl is basically about an anime girl come to life, and then she is trying to get back to her anime. But so she's come to life and is like basically doing a bunch of misadventures, fish out of water in New York City, and dealing with a bunch of wacky characters and such on her way back home.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you like most about playing her?
So, I mean, there's a lot of it. I mean, what I really loved about playing Kier was just like how different it was. I mean, interestingly, I was actually, this is going to make me sound more busy and successful as an actress than I actually am, but I was filming another film like whilst I was filming Skye Hoshi. So I like
Oh,
started Skye Hoshi and then I like filmed another film for like
oh
a
wow.
week and then I came back to Skye Hoshi and then the characters were like really, really different. The other film I was like playing like a high school student who was like really, shy and like insecure about things and like, didn't know really who they were. And then Kira like does not have to deal with any of that. I don't know. She's just more confident about things and she's just more aggressive and assertive about stuff. So it was really fun. So I really enjoyed not only Kira's just like I don't know, she's like strength of character, but also like that and like in comparison to like what else I had been playing and also like me as a person, it was more like
Mhm.
acting, which is like fun to do. Like more work for me and I like doing sort of character homework. So um I also really like wearing the dark makeup that that Stephanie would do. Stephanie used to be a makeup artist, and I thought it was really fun the rocker like punk
Yes.
look that I got to do.
So yeah, because I saw that like photos and everything where she's holding the bass and she
Right.
plays bass. So did you have to learn like playing bass at all
I
for
did.
the
Yeah,
oh
so
okay.
I'd never even held a bass in my life. I don't think. Yeah, no, I 100% don't think I've ever held a bass in my life. And I play some ukulele, like I like played some guitar, so like I knew but mostly then it was like mostly chords, and even then like not even bar chords or anything, like basic beginner string instrument, like some picking but not really. And like it was never even necessarily in the discussion like when they hired me that like I had to learn bass. I didn't put that I could play bass on my resume anywhere. Like I'm sure they weren't expecting it, but I showed up to the set the was that the first day? Oh, well, I mean, like I one of the early days, and we were filming this music video, and then our director Kalani was just like, we can just like hold it, and then I can show you some of the stuff, follow along. You don't really have to do it, like we won't get close up. And I was like, sure, and I was like, did it like this, and then I like did it. It was really fun. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, the thing about like film sets, like I'm not sure if you've ever, I don't really know your history of film sets. I mean, I'm relatively new to film sets, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of like free time in between takes. There's just a lot
Yes.
of like setting up lights and sounds. And so as an actor, you're really much like hurry up and waiting on hold for like a lot of the time. And so there was a lot of time for me to just sort of like sit down and mess around and figure it out. So it's not like I like did it in like 5 seconds, but at least 5 minutes.
Okay. And I mean, I know it's not out yet, it's coming out soon, but
Yeah,
is
next
there,
month.
yes, is there a certain scene that you had the most fun doing that you could say, like, I don't know.
Oh gosh, and like I mean this truly, every scene was like really fun in its own
Okay.
way. Like I said, like the music videos are really cool.
Yeah.
Like there's a world in which like doing the same because in film you like do the same song snippet again and again and again just from like different angles, but like the song is a banger, so I didn't get tired of that. But also, I mean, I really had a lot of fun. There was this one scene, I don't know if this is a spoiler, I'll tell you about it. um where basically Kira's just sort of monologuing about like anime girls and her thoughts about them, and that was a lot of fun for me just because it was like so dramatic and so like it's so very much, and the when you put it in the context of like, oh, she's talking about anime girls, but
Yeah.
she's like speaking with such conviction and disdain, like I think that was a lot of fun to do, as far as like more of the acting portion.
Oh, okay. And is Karis similar to you at at all? Like, do you have any similarities to her?
Right, I mean, like, not on first glance. I don't think I feel like, if you met like Regina and like you met like Kira, they're very not they don't sort of display as the same type of person. I mean, I feel like there's a lot in Kira that I feel like I can sort of identify like with. Like I can
Mhm.
imagine a world in which I can be like sort of like sassier or like give an eye roll now and then, but definitely not to her degree. I can probably also like associate with like her passion for music, and
Yeah.
like I think that I mean, like, there's something about her. I mean, I feel like maybe it's just because I play her, so I actually have a very soft spot in my heart for her. But I think that there's something just she can say the meanest thing, but also you can still like her.
Definitely.
I don't know if that holds the same for me, but that's something that I like about Kira.
There you go. And like when you're getting ready to play a a role like this, like what do you do to get into a mind frame, like a certain mind frame to play the role?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it really sort of depends on like what the character is. So like I've been in certain shows where it's like I listen to certain songs again and again that sort of get me in the mind space, or like, vocal or physical warm-ups. That's usually like for theater things. For Kira in particular, um what really helped was I really like I'm bringing up the makeup again, but the
Mhm.
makeup process is really therapeutic for me because I don't know, like I like doing my own makeup, but even when I get my makeup being done, I feel like the slow transformation and sort of even like watching a slow transformation of your face, because I don't really wear my makeup like Kira does. Um, Sort of the slow transformation that I can watch in the mirror of like myself turning into another character, I find puts me in more of a headspace to get it. And like things like costume, like shoes, like part of that sort of embodies like where it is, because Kira's like a lot of her clothes were from my wardrobe, but
Okay.
like not necessarily in combinations that I would wear, but also, she has like this like, you know, awesome cool leather jacket and like a choker, which like are things that I wish I was cool enough to wear in real life, but like, typically wouldn't. And so that sort of helps me get into the space. As far as Kira, that's most of what I did for her process.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
nice. And was there any like funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened while you were filming?
Yeah, I mean, it was a delight to be on that set. Like everyone, both the crew and the cast were fantastic. Um, I mean, again, like I'm gonna bring up the music videos again. I mean, there's only
Yes.
so many scenes that Kira's in, but like that was just it was so cool because we have these lights and these stuff, but also it's like like I learned how to play the bass, and then
Mhm.
Chris Lovejoy, he plays a guitarist named Chris, and he's like actually a fantastic musician too. So
Oh.
he's actually also playing the guitar. Kalani, the director, is also an actor in the film. He's like actually playing the drums.
Oh.
Hunter, who plays Adam, wasn't actually playing the keyboard, but he was there acting like he was playing the keyboard. So it really felt like being like in an actual band. Like there were parts of where it was like we could just literally like just be the band. We're essentially just playing this music. And that was really cool because again, like I had been in a band before, like I've done like a lot of choir, a cappella, things like that. So I like, sort of communally doing music, kind of like in a jam session with people.
Okay.
And so like that was like really fun. And as far as like the actual scene fun, but obviously of course there's like jokes and stuff like, Chris and I, he'd take a guitar and we'd sort of like jam together in the back
Oh,
sometimes. There were
nice.
some bloopers in the scenes where like I'm coming in late, someone's making funny noises. Yeah, it was a good time.
Nice. And when you're not doing film and singing and stage
Mhm.
work, like what do you like doing during your free time?
Oh gosh, free time. Well, I mean, I love talking to my friends. Like when I can, I just graduated last year, and so a lot of my friends have been like scattered out to the winds, just like in different places, different countries, different time zones. But whenever I can, I like sort of having long, 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 long calls and just sort of talking about everything in life that I can with them. That's something that I really enjoy. For my friends who are actually with me in the city, I love going to restaurants and exploring different parts of the city. I'm like a new New York City transplant, so I
Oh,
love
okay.
my friends who have lived here for a number of years or born and raised around the area to like sort of take me around, show me places, um, museums, jazz clubs, reading when I can. Those are the fun things that I used to do. Watching movies, shows, stuff like that.
All
Mostly a
right.
homebody, honestly, because I feel like so much of my like life is like interacting with so many people at a time
Right.
that like when I'm like off, I want to be like not necessarily talking with, like, large groups of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when I'm, like, not performing, I like to, like, be talking to, like, if not, like, 2 or 3 people, like, 1 person or nobody, you know? No one larger than a 4 person than when I'm, like, in my free time.
Okay, okay. And what about music? Like what kind of music is on your playlist? Like what do you like listening to?
I mean, oh gosh, this is like some type of Spotify Wrapped. I mean, it's really eclectic. It really sort of depends. Like what I was listening today, actually like 2000s pop punk.
Ooh,
Um,
nice.
it was one of those moods. I'm sorry, Taylor Swift has like been like in my top for like the past few years. I listen
Okay.
to a lot of jazz, like vocal jazz, like Ella Fitzgerald, actually a lot of Beatles too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm in a new musical, so I was listening to that on the subway to the train today too.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
not as much musical theater as before. I feel like I feel like I don't know if anyone who is in musical theater is listening to this, but like I feel like ever since I like joined professional music theater, like that became
Hmm.
my job. I don't listen to it for fun as much anymore. Um, but yeah, because it's again, it goes like it's my break time. I'm not working right now, and so I can't
Exactly.
listen to the Broadway at the moment.
And what was the last song that was stuck in your head? You know, when you hear something, you keep singing it all day.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is funny. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna listen to this. I don't think he knows that I listen to. I have a friend, and he has a band, and his song was actually stuck in my head today. I guess
Okay.
I'll shout them out if anyone wants to listen. I don't know if anyone's listening to this, or if anyone wants to check out Free Rock, MA. Like the band is called Free Rock. They're on Spotify. Their song
Okay.
Perseverance was in it. My friend Jacob's in it. I don't think he knows that I listen to his music so much. I mean, I don't even listen to that much, but today his song was stuck in my head. So there's a shout out to Free Rock
All
for
right.
free.
Sweet. There you go.
There you go, Jacob. I don't know.
Is there any artist or band that you would want to see live?
I mean, oh God, like I sound so basic. I mean, I would love to see the Taylor Swift Eras tour, but I can't.
Okay. Okay.
I'm actually seeing Lizzie McAlpine next week. I haven't been to a lot of concerts, honestly. Like the only like big concert I've been to was Panic at the Disco, like a
Oh
few
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. But gosh, I'm just like calling people out. My friend Rachel bought tickets for us to see Lizzie McAlpine next week, so I'm gonna see her. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
yeah,
And I mean, I'm sure you could tell with Chucky in the background, I'm a big
right.
horror guy. And I always ask my guests this, are there any horror films that you like to watch?
Oh gosh, I wish I was cool enough to be more of a horror fan, but I like psychological thrillers. I like
Hmm.
things like that. I don't really like gore.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be doing a horror film, like I feel like I like this is shout out time. Shout out to so like the other film that I was but I'm sure they don't care. I don't know if they're gonna listen to this, and I'm sure that the free promotion is good for anybody.
Right, exactly.
I'm supposed to be here talking about Skye Hoshi anime. So like if you listener, go get tickets for Skye Hoshi anime girl like now. But if you were interested in some of my other work, the other film that I was shooting while filming Skye Hoshi anime girl is a short independent film called The Ghost Light. And that's
Ooh,
like a horror-esque film.
okay.
In that my friend Nick is a horror guy and like there's ghosts in it, and that's cool. I love
Nice.
ghosts. It's like not super duper scary
Yeah.
because like it's a musical too. But I
Okay.
think it's like the perfect thing of like scary but also tap dance,
Oh, wow.
I actually, this is gonna sound like so I'm trying to like become more of like a cinephile person. I feel like I talk about this all the time, but I feel like I'm trying to like watch more of like the classic films. I only watched Silence of the Lambs for the first time like last month. I know I'm super duper late to the party, but that was such a fantastic film. I'm sad I'm so
That
late to
really
it.
is, yeah.
Um, yeah, that's probably the most recent like horror movie I've seen.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, you definitely picked a horror classic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I mean, other recommendations like that. I mean, I like that one. I don't really like feeling scared. You know?
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure people watch horror films and they don't feel scared. Um, I just feel like, most of my friends aren't horror movie things, and I don't want to watch horror movies by myself because then I'll get scared.
Yeah.
But massive respect to like the filmmaking process of horror films.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to just have like that grasp of like orchestrating human emotions. Good for the filmmakers.
And since you're into this film, are you a fan of anime at all?
Like yes, but also I haven't I mean like honestly I haven't watched a lot of anime recently. Growing up I would watch more like I was like a big fan of Sailor Moon growing up.
Okay.
Back in college I watched like My Hero as it came out, Avatar: The Last Airbender
Yes.
like toes the line, but big fan of that. Um, things like Cardcaptor, like I mean, like my brother like watched a lot of Pokemon growing up, so it was always like very present in my like life. Don't know if I was necessarily like watched like so many
Yeah.
animes. But Definitely not none, and definitely more so than, like, I don't know, maybe some other people. Um, and yeah, I mean, I love animation. I have a massive, respect for the art form of, yeah, just like 24 frames per second is just absolutely crazy, as far as just drawing anything.
Yes.
So aside from, just the usually bangers of music that anime has, and like the awesome storytelling and world building, just much respect for the art form. I don't know if it can, I mean, like, it doesn't count. I don't think it counts, but like also love Miyazaki films, things like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? The music for the animes are always like really good.
Yeah, they are bangers all the time. Like always those opening credits. Really cool.
I know, exactly. Is there a junk food that you like to eat the most?
That's a good question. Wow. I'm like a big fruit snacks girl. I
Oh, okay.
love eating gummies. Eat a lot of chocolate too, but like, usually I'm like one of those people who like always needs a sweet after dinner or like any meal really. I need like some sort of thing to even if it's like a stick of gum, like I need something that's like sweet after
Okay.
everything. So I eat a lot of candy. Um, and chocolate. I love ice cream. I love baked goods. I mean, I mean, I like a salty snack too. Honestly, like what's funny is that I used to be more of a chip person, but I feel like now in my old age I'm starting to become more of a cracker person.
Okay.
Just a
Okay.
fun
So,
fact. Yeah. I used to be like a jalapeno kettle chip person, but now I'm like a
ooh,
plain beef
yes.
thin kind of person. Basically, I've just gotten a lot lamer. It's okay.
And, and what about like, are you more of a beach person or like a hiking and camping kind of person?
Oh man, you're asking some fun questions. So I grew up in a desert. I grew
Oh,
up in a
really?
desert in Texas.
Oh, wow.
But I actually lived in Honolulu in Hawaii for a bit, and then I lived in Florida for a little bit. And so like I went from a desert and then I went to school in California. And then I went to Hawaii. And so like I've had like, a fair share of like mountains versus like beaches, especially in Honolulu.
Yeah.
I That's like a really good question. I feel like I love beaches at sunset sitting on them. I don't necessarily like to go
Okay.
inside the
Okay.
water.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like in an ideal world, I'm seeing like mountains in the back and like water in front of me, and I'm not hiking, but like I'm staring at the
There
water.
you go.
I'm not like
Yes.
getting wet, but I'm just sort of like sitting, and then I'm seeing the reflection of the sun over the waves, and that's the perfection.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
good. Yeah, I like that.
Like in between the hike and the water, not doing either, but looking at both. But if I had to choose
And
between swimming and hiking, probably hiking, if that's the question.
okay, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
And if you had to choose if you had a choice to do a karaoke song, what would be your go-to song?
Right. That's so funny. I actually went karaokeing last week for
Oh,
like
nice.
the first time in a very long time for my friend's birthday party. And my go-to karaoke song is always I Wanna Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston.
Yes,
Very
that's such a
basic,
great
but, like, the
song.
crowd loves it, everyone knows it, it gets everyone on their
Yes.
feet, like, it's much longer than you think it is, but, like, it's like a perfect it's like, an up-tempo thing, but also it's, like, Whitney, so it's, impressive enough. It's like, oh, she's, like she can sing, but also she's, like, having fun, so, like, she's not
Exactly.
trying to sound good. Because I just feel like I mean, this is, like, no shade to anybody, but sometimes, you go to a karaoke bar or something, and someone pulls out, like, the really, like, slow ballad that's like,
Hmm.
it's like, I can sing. And it's like, no one wants that. This isn't your concert. We just want to like have bops the entire time. I don't know what you're doing. Um, no disrespect. That's just sometimes I feel like I'm like this, it's like I don't know. I don't go to a karaoke bar to like show off how good of a performer I am. I
Yeah,
go there
yeah,
to like make everyone have fun. And I Want to Dance with
exactly.
Somebody is like a fun song.
Oh my
ABBA is
God.
always good, Queen's always good,
Yes, definitely,
Journey, things
definitely.
like that.
Oh yeah, when you sing "Don't Stop
Oh yeah,
Believe,"
crowd
yeah,
pleaser. Everyone sort of groans and then everyone joins you.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And where could fans follow you at?
Right. So if they want to follow me, you can follow my Instagram at Regina underscore Famatigan. That's Famatigan. If you want to go to my website, you can go to regina-famatigan.com, or you can also go ahead and watch me in Skye Hoshi Anime Girl. Um, you can go to puremagicpictures.com. You can get your ticket. The virtual premiere is going to be on April 27th. And you can join us for that. There's a whole bunch of different packages. You can, once you buy a ticket to the premiere to the film, you get the film forever. You own the film. You also get like a month free of Pure Magic Pictures, which is an independent streaming service that they have, which is amazing. But also there's like different packages for like a mug or a poster. They have a full manga, like sticker sheets, if you're a big Skye Hoshi super fan. And then you can see me there as well.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for doing this and taking time. It
yeah.
was really fun
Oh, thank you for
chatting.
having me. Of course.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, have a great rest of the week and great night and once again, thank you. It was really fun meeting you.
Right. Likewise. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Bye.
Bye.